Improve improve your everything.
Improve your everything. I love it.
Sebastian, I record mine as well. I don't do it all the time, but I do. I train all of the other consultants that are like me, and it's interesting what you can see once you watch yourself, for sure.
Of course, because at the moment, it's like you're possessed. You don't really think because you're action, right? I know this because I am a musician. When I'm on stage, I'm possessed. I'm not there. But when I come back and review the music or whatever I do, so then I brought this into my professional life as well.
I love it. I love it. When I do speaking stuff in the marketplace, my wife will always ask me, "Well, how'd you do? How'd it go?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't really remember. I think it went well."
Right.
I never remember, but now I record it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, Sebastian, appreciate you getting back on with us. I think, to recap the end of our meeting yesterday, we had a great from last week, we had a great conversation with you about Hurricane Garage Door. And we promised you that Nicole and Jim would kind of put their professional heads together and put together some recommendations creatively, and then just a strategy about what a plan would look like on WPBF and Hearst. So that's our goal today, is to just share some stuff with you. You'll get, as Jim would say, his humble opinion, and I'll kick things straight over to Jim to start the conversation. But we're very excited, and thanks again for the opportunity.
Yeah. So speaking of share your screen with me, Sebastian, and I'll open up my PowerPoint, and then what we also do is we send you a link to the deck.
Check it out
too.
Do you have access now?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get all right, is that okay?
Yes, sir. I do.
Yay. All right. So yeah, thank you. Just a refresher on our company, JDA. We've been around for over 35 years, and we don't, like I said maybe on the meeting last week, we don't work on commission. So whether you say yes or no doesn't impact us. What impacts us is if you see value in the meeting and you say yes, and then the station says, "Oh, well, that went pretty well. Let's have Jim do that again." So that's really what we do. But there's 11 of us that do this for our company across the country, and from New York down to St. Joe, Missouri. But we learn stuff as we go along, or at least we'll have ideas that say, if you would just do this, I think that ad would pop a little more, so things of that nature. So sometimes we're doing total makeovers, and other times we're just doing a couple of tweaks. And just for creative for you, I have a couple of tweaks.
That's
and
great.
yes, we're gonna talk about how much for how long on the station and what we can do for you. Nicole's excited about that, but just we can't do anything, Sebastian, unless you give us information, which you did last time. So just grateful for that. So thanks so much, man.
You're welcome, man.
Okay, so here's where I just try to get us into the marketing mindset of understanding why do some ads work and some ads don't, and just understanding the fact that we get bombarded by 2,000 messages a day. I always joke and say it feels like Vegas. Our minds feel like Vegas in the 80s or 90s, just junk everywhere. And then I pick on I'll pick on Danny. I think this is a Tempo. So this was Danny's car in high school, the Ford Tempo. This was Nicole's car in high school. That's the Mustang 5.0 GTO. Remember that one? That was a hot one back in the day. But that's all I'm saying. It's just we get hammered by messages from everywhere.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. But our point is this: our brains love video. We don't like to read anymore. And so where we see success is pushing a video in front of a targeted consumer. And so a lot of times folks will say, well, we don't watch TV. Okay, Sebastian, what's her name?
I'm not sure.
Flo, right?
Flo.
Okay, what company is she with? This is our marketing test of the day, apparently.
I am not sure.
Progressive. You've probably seen it 100 times.
Yes, I know Progressive. Oh, I know this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What company is that?
I forgot.
Yes, funny thing is most people do. That is Liberty Mutual. We all know this. Liberty, 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 liberty.
Yeah.
We're all tired of that. Okay, here's another good one. A lot of times most people don't get this one. What is their tagline?
I'm not sure.
Right. So it's a great one. So they spend, they're one of the largest ad spenders in the country. So Progressive, Liberty, Geico are up there with all
Geico is definitely in my brain. They did it. They actually did a great job.
Yeah. Okay. So this one, so Liberty Mutual's tagline is only pay for what you need. And it causes in my mind, it causes the consumer to pause and say, yeah, but don't I rely on the insurance company to tell me what I need? I'm 18 years old. I just got a car. I don't know how much insurance I need. And so only pay for what you need is confusing to the marketplace. They say it in almost every commercial, and most of us don't remember it. But we all know, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, or you're in good hands with Allstate. So it's a swing and a miss when it comes to marketing. But because of the video, we all remember it because our brain processes it faster. Okay, last question. What is that thing, Sebastian?
I am not sure.
Okay. It is the sandwich that we all know, but only 25% of us will actually admit to ever eating it.
I don't think I ever ate it.
That's the McRib.
Oh, yeah, that it. I've seen it, but never tried it.
That's never passed your lips, has it?
No.
You and me both, Sebastian. Never.
You liar.
Me neither.
Liar.
Oh my God.
But here's our point to that.
We know it, but we don't use it. So it's another miss.
We know it. We know it. But now we make a conscious decision whether or not that mystery meat sandwich is for us.
So they're doing one part of the job is being done, but not the other.
Ah, yes. And so one of the McRib is an example of okay, McDonald's will never say Egg McMuffin, Big Mac, and McRib in the same ad. They only pick one and they hammer it. We know when McDonald's switched to breakfast anytime. My favorite. I love an Egg McMuffin at 2:00 in the afternoon, right? I know what the calories are. I know it's not that bad for me. But we also know when the McRib is back because that's all they're saying. Then what we say to business owners and marketers, try to do the same thing or keep it simple, silly. Use that KISS principle. So sometimes we can introduce too many messages when we should have gone deeper in one message. And so that's just a lesson that we talk about. I'll go into that a little deeper.
It does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So we're diffusing the information if we're trying to sell way too many things at the same time, which is what we're doing in our company. So what you're recommending us to do is instead of doing the same as McDonald's is doing or Allstate is doing, we should go ahead and gather all this information and funnel all that energy into just one source. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, I am. And I'll go into more detail, but I'll give you a hint. Mobile showroom. Mobile showroom is the McRib or the breakfast anytime. That's an interesting concept. Nobody has it. You're the first in the nation.
Indeed.
You whisper it, okay? You whisper it when you should be screaming it. My opinion, right? We'll get there.
Yes. I get what you're saying.
There. Yeah, we get there. We'll get there. But here's where we talk about.
Quite an interesting man.
Welcome to
the gym show, huh? He knows. Oh my God.
Here's where we talk a little bit about. Folks will say, I don't watch TV. And, the examples that I showed before, most of us generally watch TV. They say we watch around 5 hours a day. That's misleading because grandmas and grandpas, so older adults over the age of 65, they watch 7 or 8 hours of TV a day, which really works great for you because I would argue adults 50 plus is a good demographic for you.
Of course,
but
that's the objective.
Yeah. So they watch piles of TV. What we care about, I want an hour or two of local news in any market in the country. If I can just pick 1 or 2 news programs and be there today, tomorrow, and the next day, I'll have success. If I can pick one thing, if I can find the one thing that business does well, and if I can communicate it in a simple message and pick 1 or 2 news programs and just air it today, tomorrow, and the next day, and do that for 90 days, I'll have success generally. And so I don't care if I'm in New York. Now, New York, New York costs you $35,000 to advertise. St. Joe, Missouri will cost you $1,500. It's really about the same number of commercials, but there's a formula, a secret sauce.
People, the amount of people, is it why?
Yeah, it's all cost per thousand. You know, the more people, the more it costs. It's all relative to the market, but what we say there is just that formula is the same, and the common denominator in all of it. It's not that every TV station's awesome. I always say they're fine. What's awesome is the fact that the weather changes across the country. That's why we still tune in to broadcast. That's why politicians still spend all their money there. I can't wait for the election to be over. Sebastian, I live 2.5 hours from Chicago. So I live right on the border of Iowa and Illinois. So I get both state political ads, and it's like, oh my goodness, I'm ready for that.
A lot of visual contamination.
Well, yeah, and you know, why do they spend their money there? Because there's a person on the other, there's enough people on the other side that are going to see it repetitively. So we just say let's duplicate that process, but also let's not ignore what's going on in the world, which is that's where we're spending our time. This is another resource, and they're talking about the time we spend on a device and the time we spend on TV. So I like, this is my 1-2 punch. A lot of times I like OTT streaming. And TV.
I believe is the present.
Yeah, and I'm having more and more success with that.
Of course, because nobody, like the youngsters, like the newer generations, they're not going on television. Like I'm not even that young, and last time I turned on my TV was like 5 months ago. I have 3 televisions that I don't use.
So what we say to that, the pandemic was a great eye opener. A couple of things happened during the pandemic, which is weird, and you can Google this to see the research, but the older millennial is now 40, which is shocking. Okay.
Yes.
And that 35 to 40-year-old group turned in, has spiked local news. The new, well, yeah, so that's what we assume, but they showed up in the 4 p.m. news time slots across the country and the midday news slots across the country. We all of a sudden during the pandemic saw this spike in that age group. It's like, well, what's going on? They're working from home. They're working from home. And they have something on in the background. And the thing that they've liked working from home has been local news. So that's given us an indicator that once that young person starts to grow up, buys a house, has kids,
is concerned about society.
Yeah, welcome to society. They're going to watch local news.
Yeah,
not maybe as much as their grandparents,
but they will,
because of news, weather, and sports. So that's where we feel like the broadcast industry still has value. Don't listen to me. Go look at all the broadcast stations.
No, it does. We have 7 News. We have Channel 5.
Well, that's why.
It works. Why. But we believe also OTT is just doing a great job to those people that were not being gathered by the networks, like, you know, with behavior marketing and all of that. You can actually chase after people a lot easier, and you actually make sure the impressions go directly into the consumer.
100% agree. And you can, with OTT, you can target somebody a little bit more specific than you can with mass media. Yeah, they both have value, and all I say there is just that first month when you implement the plan, we should be able to look at Google Analytics and see, okay, no, we created curiosity.
How do you do it? You guys add a pixel in order to follow this movement? Or what?
The first thing that we like for you to do is we like for you to look at the last 90 days of your web traffic in a certain area, and then, you know, at the very least, the only thing we're saying for us is try us for 90 days, but then look at our 90 days and say, okay, there's a cause and effect. I just did one for a door company in Indianapolis, and it was clear. We started in August, and it was clear. Boom, there was a bump, and then it was steady for the next couple of months. they just were not doing a very good job of converting the leads. It was obvious after we looked at that report. Danny, did you want to say something there?
No, I just think that to go back to the tease of the creative that you had, Sebastian, if we're talking about mobile showroom as our one thing, when we implement the campaign for the first 90 days, let's look specifically at your mobile showroom page on your website, and we'll easily be able to see
Good point.
what may have happened, because that's our one thing that we're screaming, not whispering. So, but again, I mean, just being able to look at the Google Analytics since implementation of a new plan is kind of step one to being able to figure out what's working and what's not. So, great point to bring up.
So sometimes what we say in our world as consultants, we like video. So we like local news because we don't record it, we don't DVR it, it's live. We like local news and live sports, the two that we like. We don't like broad-based rotators on broadcast. I'd rather have you buy a specific program so we can own it, because I want repetition. I want guarantee that somebody saw it twice. And that's what broadcast can allow for us. And then, yes, I like streaming. And then the other thing, if it warrants it, I want to target somebody on their phone. The phone is actually the most precise when it comes to going after a very specific person. Sometimes we don't need it to be that specific, but so I like those things together. So we just say, don't target everyone, pick. So in our case, I would say here, ours would be adults 50 plus or women 50 plus typically seems to be the driver in your category. But then the other thing we say is don't say everything. Don't give them the blah, blah, blahs. Don't say we have a garage door for everyone. What's in it for me? Why should I care? What's your key benefit? Is it safety? Is it security? Is it curb appeal? Pick one, right? Let's make it a little more singular. We don't have to tell everybody everything right away. Let's pick a message. Let's get after it. Maybe in 90 days, we'll go from
reduce the messages, like, so the brain doesn't get confused trying to intake so much info. So by just being minimalistic of one piece of info, we go directly into the consumer.
Yes, sir. We know when Applebee's doesn't advertise on TV as often as they should, but when they do, we generally know the Applebee's offer. There was one, it was the Jack Daniel's bourbon, blah, blah, blah steak. Yeah. And right, we all remembered that, because then they'll do one for firecracker shrimp or something. But they don't say we have, 80 items on the menu. It's one thing. They try to lure us in at that time.
And the same as McDonald's, as you were mentioning, that they just blast the rib, or they blast whatever, the Big Mac.
And so that's what we do, Sebastian. If we're I'll pick on roofing. If I'm a roofer, they want to say we do commercial, residential, siding, windows, and more. And it's like, no. Pick one or the other. Are we residential or are we commercial? Guy says, I want to do residential. Okay. Now, are we repair or replace? Oh, that's a good question, because a lot of times repairing the roof leads to replacement. So we might be the Sebastian Roof Rapid Access repair team. If you have a leaky roof and you need a repair, call Sebastian. He'll be there. Call us today. We'll be there right away.
So he gets
that works. And so that's that power of singularity. And then the last piece of the puzzle, we just call it super high frequency in fewer places. So the only way you'll know if we're advertising, if you advertise everywhere, you won't know if anything's working. I'm working with a guy in Madison, Wisconsin, and he has about $1 million ad budget, and he's advertising in 27, what we would call glasses, but 27 different places. And so he has no idea if
he's getting nothing, because he's
it's a hot mess. And
because he's spreading all the budget. So you believe it's best if we just use one glass.
Well, or 3. With him, I'll be fine with 8, but 27, and a lot of it, what he is doing, he's got a lot of it at what I call the bottom end of the funnel. And what this guy is doing, he's spending a fortune on Angie's List, Google Pay-Per-Click, Home Advisor, and all of these lead generation stuff for roofs. And I'm like, we need to be up here if you need a roof, call us, because we're the best roof in Wisconsin. That's a better message.
That's it.
So, anyway,
Classic.
yeah, but that's what we run into. So be careful of having too much money at the bottom end of the funnel. Car dealers, the biggest issue in cars, wait till they have inventory again. They've spent 3 years now during the pandemic of spending all of their money right here. Cars.com, Auto Trader. That means we decided that we are buying a car. They didn't tell us that they're the best dealership. So they've lost well, I always go to Danny Automotive because they treat me right. That message is gone in the marketplace. Typically, it's all about price. Well, now eventually some dealers are going to lose out and are going to close because they lost that personal relationship where you're dealer
With the
for life
customer.
type of thing. So, but too much money at the bottom end of the funnel. Now, this is silly, but I play this for a couple of things. So this is one of our consultants. He was with us for 30 years. He's retired. He was a Vietnam fighter pilot, and now he's a retired.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a retired girls high school referee. His name's Don. Don's crazy. So Don has crazy ads. But one of the things that we talk about in Garage Door is curb appeal or repair. And so which one is the point of entry? Sometimes it's repair. And
Especially
so
now with the storm.
yeah. So that's what, and we'll get into that question, but this is Don's going to tell us a story. Oops, here, I back up.
Howdy, I'm one of Jim Doyle's road warriors, and I had an interesting story that developed last night. I was in my hotel room and I saw this ad for Hammond Overhead Door Company. It was surprising because I sold them that exact same commercial 8 years ago. So of course I called up the owner, and here's what they said. This is a quote from Marjorie Hammond. She said, "This ad has been very, very successful. They're very enthusiastic about it." She says they get people coming in all the time saying the punchline, which is, "Garage door jamming, time to call Hammond." And apparently even little kids come in and say, "Garage door jamming, time to call Hammond." So they never abandoned the original ad. That's exactly as how it has run for 8 years. They're on a modest budget and it's worked terrifically. The last note, her husband's running for political office, and he came up with a variant of the same phrase. "Government jamming, time to elect Hammond."
So here's the ad.
No, but it actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Garage door jamming, time to call Hammond.
Oh God.
Hammond Overhead Door Company.
So
Is
keep
that
it
it?
simple. Yeah, keep it simple, silly. Garage door jamming, time to call Hammond. But that just gives us an indicator that a lot of times the point of entry to the home is a service call, and then we could sell the beautiful door. But we can go both ways, but usually the company has an opinion on what to do, and we'll explore that in a little bit. And then this is just the last success story of a garage door company I helped in Lexington, Kentucky.
My name is Taylor Lyle, and I'm the president of Overhead Door Company of Lexington, Kentucky. The results have been really good because our brand is getting, it's definitely promoting our brand, making us more and more recognizable. I think the advertising that we're doing through LX18 is helping create a much bigger brand, making us more well-known. The idea that we're trying to do is just have us known in the customer's mind before they have the need.
Right, top of mind.
The result of the campaign, we have a lot of people who show up and they'll tell us, "Hey, I saw your ad on TV," and they'll sing the jingle to us, which means it's definitely working. People are definitely hearing it. Some people are telling us the jingle's getting in their head and they don't want to hear it anymore, but that just means it's working.
So sometimes we like that. In his example, he was spending money on radio, bought a jingle years ago that had equity, but the radio is fragmented. So we kept the jingle and migrated to TV. And because he has a small, modest budget, and that's the only thing he was doing, he can see the results right away. You guys are a big company, you've been around. And so it's harder to decipher what's working or not. And that's why I always like to show these examples, because just understand that power is still there, whether or not you're able to track all of it the way you want to. So just understanding, yes, we call it focus concentration. Pick one thing that gives you more feedback. I like picking whether I call it specific procedure or technology, because that delivers measurable results. A procedure is a service call. Technology is the mobile showroom. But yeah, we've got a couple: mobile showroom, curb appeal, might be hurricane safety and savings. You have an offer that's pretty decent on that entry level. Maybe it's service. So there's a couple of things that we'll talk about when we get to the brainstorming session. When I, oh, good job, Jim, misspelling. When I go to YouTube and type in your name, a whole bunch of Hibu videos pop up. You see that there, Sebastian?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Then I go and I found your YouTube page right here. I just want you to understand that Google owns YouTube. So YouTube is the #2 search engine in America. And so what they do is, if somebody types in Hurricane Garage Door West Palm, and that's the name of your video will show up in Google searches. That's why Hibu is doing this. And if they're charging you to do this, you could do this yourself. And I don't want these videos to be housed under Hibu, Florida, because that's not helping your organic. All of these videos need to be scraped and put under your YouTube channel as well. So that helps to grow your organic. Like this one here, I would change this to Hurricane Garage Door, Florida. Go to HGDnow.com. I would just make sure that the title of the videos are helping my organic search. That makes sense?
Of course, I completely understand what you're telling me.
You got piles of these, and I
didn't even know we had that.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
now you're getting really good at your job, man.
yeah. Well, so another thing when it comes to Hibu, itemized invoices, brother. What are you paying for? If you're still a client, how much is it?
Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, man.
Itemized invoice. What are you paying for? And you may be paying for stuff that you didn't realize because you're duplicating it somewhere else. Like if you're doing Google pay-per-click, you don't need to be doing some of the Hibu stuff. So, and a lot of times over the years, they have migrated dollars from the book to digital stuff, and you're already buying that digital stuff through another vendor potentially. And that's what this, but they're smart. They already know that these videos help grow your organic searchability. Duh. But you could do it yourself for free.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Who made this ad, Sebastian?
We have 10 minutes left. That was Channel 5.
Okay. So love the ad. It's just, as I play it, we've got a couple of things here that I want you to look at. So, and I'll play it and then I'll explain.
Upgrade your old garage door to a new Hurricane garage door. Save big on rising insurance bills. Improve curb appeal. Add thousands to your asking price. Let our Hurricane Garage Doors mobile showroom come to you within 48 hours with the top brands at the best prices to keep your family safe. Call Hurricane Garage Doors for a free estimate. Scan the QR code for 12-month 0% financing or 10% off. Visit hgdnow.com today.
All right. So a couple of things. Curb appeal, that's a great strategy. I would have then wanted to see more of these homes because these are beautiful pictures. Get the QR code out of the way and just make it all about curb appeal. Or maybe it is about savings and safety. And let's talk about a huge offer. Right here, our QR code says, scan now for incredible offers. I'll explain. Or mobile showroom. And I would just say, pick one. I like mobile showroom. But when I scan this, I actually don't go to incredible offers. I just go to your homepage. So the value proposition of this message doesn't take me anywhere to homepage. And so here I'm just saying, I just ran some offers. I just typed in hurricane.
So what you
door.
suggest is that that code should lead directly into the offer.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
If you promise it, you got to deliver it, or the consumer's pissed.
Of course. Makes
You
a lot of
probably
sense.
might notice that your bounce rate is high when
Yeah.
people are scanning the QR code because it's taking them to the homepage, and you're basically asking them to navigate to try to find the deal.
And
as
you
opposed
don't
to
find
taking
it,
right
so
there.
it's like you're
No.
lying to them. I get
Yes,
it.
sir.
Well, and the deal is 0%.
Consciously, they'll reject the info.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay. All right. So here's what I'm saying. I'll rip through this real quick. And I'm not going to play this commercial, but one of a kind, first in the nation. What? Timeout. That's leadership position and first mover advantage and speed. That's 3 major marketing positions in one. I love the mobile showroom idea. That might be getting housewives to call you, and they can pick the garage door right out of their own driveway. I love that. Another question I have, and this is maybe just for your team. I don't know how much the tax exempt savings that goes through 2024. Do all of Floridians understand that they can save money on their taxes?
And everybody wants to save money, so that could be one of the offers.
I don't know. And I don't, yes, it could be. And so that's savings and offers. That could be that. And this could be part of that savings. That's another hook. I just don't know. Is it blah, blah, or is it a hook? I don't know.
No, it actually, at the end of the year, they have to bring the fact that they changed the door and prove it or
Yeah.
something like that. And they
Yeah.
they do get a break.
Yeah. Okay. And so just for sake of time, I have other examples that I'm going to show.
Are you looking?
And you can look at them later. I'll play you this one. This is one because this one's annoying, but you're going to see my thought on it.
This is the moment I was built for.
You ready?
All those reps.
Waiting.
Open, close, open, close. Okay, you're the best garage door in the business.
Yeah.
Here we go!
Like soccer.
Asa Abloy Entrance Systems. Our quality garage doors speak for themselves.
Oh, yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo!
Nice door.
So all I'm saying is this. This is the moment I was built for. Open, close, rain, wind, open.
So it's the actual door that has a life. The
Yeah,
door's talking.
hurricane, more rain, open, close. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. It's showtime. And then mom pulls in with and he's like, yeah. And then, mom drives in the garage door shuts. And then it says hurricane garage doors. We're ready for anything. And then the garage door says at the end, that's what I'm talking about. So anyway.
So it's making you agreed unconsciously to the fact that it's all right to have a door that opens and closes and is ready to help you every time.
Ready for anything. Rain, wind, hurricane.
And protect you on top of it.
This is what I'm built for. All right. So there's that idea. You can watch the other ones. Real quick, this is just generic script, but I just want you to hear it. Hurricane resistant garage doors is not a luxury in Florida. It's a necessity. Now is a great time to upgrade your curb appeal, replace that old door with a stronger and safer hurricane door, and save money at tax time. Right now, you can get a hurricane garage door for as low as $22.95 installed. To request an appointment with one of our hurricane specialists and an at-home visit with our one-of-a-kind mobile showroom, go to hgdnow.com, which I love that. And then hurricane garage door, I forgot to add the slogan. So just real quick script if you wanted to work on it there. And I know.
No, it's good.
All right. I have another service. These are 2 ideas for service you can watch later.
I know that company A1A.
Yeah. Yes. So now what we're talking about is just a strategy, what we can do for you. 1, we can provide the power of video. Number 2, we feel like we can target your core customer, adults 50 plus, maybe 35 to 64.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're part of a company called Hearst, and Hearst has been around for 135 years. So if anything, we're like one of the largest ad agencies in the country. It's $1 billion some dollar organization. So we have expertise and people to help you as part of your team. And we don't charge you fees just to think about you. As you can see today, we just give you all of our information for free. We're just asking to do business with you. So a couple of things real quick, and then I'll turn it over to Nicole. We're asking to target maybe adults 35 plus. We want to go after homeowners and upper income home improvement enthusiasts.
You have like three. You see, you have a couple of minutes left.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. So we're going to blend in services, which is really streaming, the Weather Channel, because we have an exclusive arrangement with the Weather Channel. We could target the Weather Channel. We can target people in the Cape Coral, Fort Myers area who are checking out the weather or on the Weather Channel app. That's one of our ideas. And then we can do some WPBF.com on our site. So you know about streaming, and so just gives you an idea of what the coverage map area is, and how large of the homes. It's just shy of 1 million homes in the area. It's a wide area. When it comes to news, we have a huge amount of unduplicated reach, so we can reach anywhere between 30 to 100,000 people in a week. That's what, because of the weather, and that just goes back to that we get sampled. Here is just a snapshot of how we do versus the other guys. And so, yes, we're the #1 station. It's really because we're trusted because of our weather coverage. And then if you can look at it by time period, in the percentage of reach or thousands, we're strong versus when it comes to reaching homeowners. We are going to throw in a bonus network called True Crime because it's cheap, and it's also heavily viewed by adults 35 plus. Okay, schedule, Nicole.
Okay, so the schedule would look like this. It would be 2 weeks out of each month on WPBF, which is the local news station here. 5 a.m. news, 6 a.m. news, 9 a.m. news, 11 p.m. news, and we would go Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of 2 weeks out of each month. And then we would throw in True Crime, 9A to 5P with 60 commercials. The digital platform is going to be very targeted. So we're going to be able to target Cape Coral on the OTT, which is, the targeted niche area. We'll do adults 35 plus, homeowners, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, 200,000.
If you wanted us to, we could do West Palm too, but yeah.
Yeah, we could target wherever you want to target. Then we would also use the Weather Channel to target that area because of all of the damage recently. We would run your ad on the homepage of the Weather Channel mobile, 150,000 ads. And then, of course, an extension of our brand, WPBF.com, which happens to be the #1 television website in the market. We would run display ads. Okay, sorry, Jim. All right, recap on this. 84 television commercials per month, 412,500 impressions online, which would really be targeted to that West Coast area. The investment on this is $15,700 per month. It comes in at a $13 CPM, and I think we had talked a lot about how the CPM is, it's a low CPM. Obviously the idea is to create longevity with any campaign that we do. So we would run this, let's say like November for a year. You can kind of see what that comes out to be,